What does it mean to be black? It means to be resilient. It means to come from a legacy of survivors. It means to have this tangible connection to a type of cultural identity.
Baby, let me tell y'all, there's no place like New Orleans. We're the most unique city in the United States, if you ask me. The food, the music, the art, the culture, and especially the people, the black people, you heard me? We bring life to this city. And everything you love about New Orleans is because of a black person. Growing up black isn't easy, but I'm proud of who I am and where I come from.
Peace, I'm B Mike. I am from 1.5, aka Algiers, aka the West Bank, the best bank in New Orleans.
I'm Nesby Phipps from the 17th Ward, born and raised. Me and my people been here for like 120 plus years. So it feels good to be sitting here talking to y'all.
I'm George Haynes, and I'm from the 7th Ward of New Orleans. I was born to John and Sidonia Haynes in 1954, and I'm one of 11 siblings.
I'm Sierra, and I am from the east side of New Orleans.
I'm Warren Riley. I am from Uptown New Orleans. I was born on January 15th, 1959.
Hi, I'm Aaliyah, and I'm from the 7th Ward in New Orleans.
What's up, y'all? My name is Mid-City AB. I'm originally from Mid-City.
I'm Malaya, and I'm from the 8th Ward, but my dad says I'm from Uptown. I was born on January 5th, 2010. I'm a student at St. Leo the Great Elementary School, and I'm in 5th grade.
Introduce myself, I'm Leona's son, and a man called Walter Smith. My birth name is Jerome Manuel Smith. I was born in 1939. But my emotional, spiritual identification is Big Duck.
I used to know what it took to love you.
Growing up black in New Orleans, it's challenging. It's very challenging. We're talking about the South. We're talking about the economic problems we have here. They call New Orleans the city that care forgot. And daily you feel that way here.
It's an experience so unique, unlike anything else. It's like it puts your soul and your spirit through a lot, but I feel like that's for a purpose. Like the vibe here, when you black, it's something magnetic.
This city is vibrant, it's cultured, and it's a great time, always.
The rhythm of the city, the culture, obviously the food, but our people are the most unique, most welcoming people in the country.
There's no place like New Orleans.
It's the most African experience you're gonna get in the United States.
It's the type of cultural cape that you're able to put on without fully being able to access your history. You can tap into like some really ancient practices here by just being in New Orleans.
Wait a minute. What I love mostly about New Orleans, mostly about it, my mama and my daddy. That's who I love, but mostly about New Orleans. About New Orleans and its whole spiritual existence, that's tambourine and fan. The great music of this city is saying good morning and good evening. The spirit of person is the instrument. Good morning and good evening, that means we recognize the humanity in each other, right? Everything breathes from just that. This is unbelievable what we have here, nothing compared to it. They got a lot of hip places, you know, but I guarantee you, you will not go to no city and find a 4 or 5-year-old boy playing the big tuba with men, right? Because he don't know his limits. Now he learned that on the street here. That's our trombone and all the others got me flashing back on some things.
We're really in touch with our roots and who we are. All American music was birthed out of this place, if you want to speak factually.
If you look at the traditional, what they call second line parades, they have the fans, all right? And then I grew up around the whole thing around the carnival and the Indians, and that's where the tambourine come from. I was raised around that, but I heard kind of sounds in there. And one of my mentors was Lorraine Hansberry. And so I was telling her I heard a sound in your head on the street when it be going. Early in the morning when I leave my home, old boy so ready, gonna carry on. They gonna bop and they bop and they do all that, right? She said, I can't explain it to you, I don't know. So she sent me to see her uncle, Dr. Leo Hansberry. He was an anthropologist at Howard University. He taught me, he said, look, young man, what you heard is something that's ancient. It's about the kidnap of your people. So when you're kidnapped, you break a certain kind of thing in your internal spirit, right? And at moments, even after that kidnapping and the rape of the culture, that when we was brought over here, there's certain moments in your existence that the words that's been thrown on you won't satisfy. So within the old men who had an opportunity to hold on to some things because New Orleans had the carnival. And our participation, we was able to get into that spirit.
Down by the river in the city of dreams.
A lot of different people taught me about Black history. My grandmother, my mom, my dad, and my teachers.
My parents taught me about Black history. We were taught about racism. We were taught about how to conduct ourselves, how to get along, how to try and make it. My father was actually embarrassed about some of the things that he told us to do, but it was some things that he believed that we needed to do to survive.
Growing up, we had Black Santa in the house, Black Barbie dolls. I always saw myself in the artwork in our family home. It wasn't until I got older, started going to different schools, having different experiences, that I realized that being Black was viewed as the quote-unquote minority, where to me, that was just always the standard.
I identify as Black. Technically, I am biracial. My mother is white, my dad is Black, but I grew up in an urban city, a chocolate city. I went to predominantly Black schools. I went to HBCU for undergrad. I was always closer to my dad's side of the family. Talking to my mom, we never really had the race talk. Like, she never sat down and was like, oh, you know, you are mixed. Or if I said, like, you know, hey, I'm Black. Like, a lot of times growing up in New Orleans, they have what you call passe blanc. So half of my dad's side of the family, they look just like my mother. So people would always think that my mom was just a light-skinned Black lady because you see so much of it here in New Orleans. Like, I never had that complex, and she never had to have that conversation with us because it wasn't required growing up in this city.
I would say when I got into college, that was like the first time I was challenged to define what it means to be Black. I was reading W.E.B. Du Bois' Souls of Black Folk, and in that book, W.E.B. Du Bois spoke of having a double consciousness, that being Black in America is to have two consciousness. You have to think about yourself, but you also have to think about what other people think about you at all times.
Being Black means to also be a descendant of Africa, the African diaspora, a diaspora baby, so to speak. So what we have to understand that when you Black, you come from a long legacy of trauma, you know, you come from greatness too, but we gotta take the mental health aspect more serious, you know, because you don't know what's in your DNA, what your people done been through. You feel me? That could pop out at any moment, you know? So we come from pyramids, but we also come from projects, you know, a long line of trauma, so we have to take that serious. To be Black also means to be African.
My worst memory as a kid growing up in New Orleans, one of them rather, was when you had to catch the bus in the back of the bus and go to Pontchartrain Beach and you weren't allowed in.
I used to wake up in the jail cell with roaches all on me. I'm on this crutch because the Klan beat me. I done been shot at all kind of time. My fingernails don't grow because me and Ike Reynolds was down in Fayetteville, around that army base, and we got poisoned.
The worst memory of growing up Black in New Orleans is definitely experiencing Hurricane Katrina.
From my perspective as police chief, related to Hurricane Katrina, it was one of the most, probably the most traumatic time in New Orleans in modern history. Over 1,800 people died. If not for the first responders, the city would have been much worse. And hopefully we'll never ever have to experience anything like that again.
The best memory as a child growing up black in New Orleans is definitely growing up in New Orleans East, going to Jazzland, which later turned into Six Flags. My house was right down the street, and just that access and being able to have a major theme park in a predominantly black neighborhood was just so important to me growing up.
What's your best memory as a kid growing up?
One time Muhammad Ali come looking. The kids were practicing baseball, and he said, Ali said, I'm trying to find a brother named Jerome something out here. Some people told me I needed to speak with him. So said, we don't know no Jerome. That was the first time on the field. Said, go ask Big Duck in there. said, go ask Big Duck, he gonna know it. So Ali come in there clowning with him. Now the aftermath, Ali said, look, I come to see you, I done heard your name in different places. Everybody say you're low key. Say, I want to do something. I just want to do anything y'all asking me to do. I want to do it. And I said, well, I don't know yet, champ. We don't want no money yet. Said, but we got to do something greater than a few dollars. I said, I don't know. These children going to decide. The children met. When the camp came, they was in there discussing it. You got a thing in there on the Muhammad Ali reading contest. We organized the whole school system. We put 50-some thousand children in the Superdome. That could never be done today because we had the backdrop of all those great black teachers, and they mobilized the curriculum. They had spelling contests in each school, and then they had the contests in the Superdome. They had 15,000 of them won awards. They can't touch that nowhere.
Yes, I believe that my voice matters, and I believe that all voices matter.
I am in complete control of myself and my destiny. I create as I speak. The world I have, not the world that is present. The world I desire, moving forward, the whole nine. It starts with the power of my tongue. You know, the power of the tongue is everything. My voice matter like a mother.
Right now we're learning about the Constitution and how everybody had rights with the 27 amendments. Even though the Constitution states that all people have rights, some people aren't following that today.
I feel like during the pandemic, a lot of people had time to sit and actually pay attention to what was going on and the horribleness of how black people are treated. I thought that it was important to go out and protest and to be a part of it.
Well, the situations involving Breonna Taylor and George Floyd and many, many others that happened before that are horrible situations. Breonna Taylor, there should be no such thing as a no-knock warrant. That should have never, ever happened. The officers were negligent, to say the least, because they opened fire. I understand that they were fired on, but to arbitrarily have officers fire discreetly into a home, any reasonable person would know that could potentially result in something very negative, which obviously happened to Ms. Taylor. I think as it relates to George Floyd, that's one of the most hideous things I've ever witnessed. The fact that this officer Chauvin put his knee on his neck and the other 3 officers did absolutely nothing. I equate that to the 1800s or 1700s with 4 white guys walking a black man to a tree and putting a rope around his neck and hanging him, and you have 50 other people around watching who could do absolutely nothing back then. For something like that to happen today is inexcusable.
So the Black Lives Matter movement, I think by design, is multi-layered in a way in which your activism or your involvement in it doesn't require you to be in the streets solely. I think there is a lot of good and performative nature of being present and being physical, visually physical in the streets. But I think it takes multiple approaches on multiple levels. I don't know if you can directly measure the effectiveness of the Black Lives Matter protests that have been happening. I think the measurement of how impactful it is it's beyond that particular moment. It's the seeds that are planted from the people who are present, and also for the people who are being a witness from afar, people who are watching it on their timelines, who are watching it on the news. I think it all has a proxy impact, even if you're not conscious of it.
The change that I would like to see in the world starts with my city, and I think that a change in New Orleans can set the precedent for the changes in a lot of predominantly black cities across the country. And personally, in my city, there's so much emphasis on black New Orleanians being resilient. We're always resilient in the things that we have faced, but I really want us to be able to eradicate the conditions that cause us to be resilient in the first place. The change is to not only just be surviving, but us to just be able to live free and really thrive in the city that we call home.
I'm gonna answer your question by using a quote from Dr. Cornel West. And he said, anyone who has the audacity to be an artist has to be on intimate terms with despair. However, he said, despair must never have the last word. You must be a prisoner of hope. He said hope is different from optimism though. Being a prisoner of hope is to know that there's more beyond where you are, that you don't have to be here forever, that this is not the way things are supposed to be. And that the reason why they're the way they are now is because of someone's imagination. So it's gonna require a radical imagination to counter that. And so for me, I feel like I'm hopeful because I realize we're in the midst of a constant mist of imaginative shifts and imaginative seeds that are creating a future that we're gonna exist in together in a better way.
My legacy, wow. I pray for this every morning in my ministry. I tell my children the legacy that I leave is one of peace to them. That's where your wealth is. It's not in dollars and cents and property. It's that the love and peace in your heart. That's what I want to leave for my kids. To put that and keep that in their life and hold on to that.
I got 2 kids. My daughter's 18 and my son is 15. And we talk about what it is to be black, period, in addition to being black from New Orleans. I make sure that I impute into them that the importance of having knowledge of self. Their success gonna bring them places that character could be hard to sustain. And I try to tell them to pay attention to how the room adjusts itself to them when they come in, whether they become elated or they become irritated. What's the same in both is that you got a presence. And how people respond to it say more about them than you, so don't be bothered by that. Just make sure they know you're in the room.
Any way that I can embrace and enhance the black community, I feel like that in itself is a powerful enough legacy to leave behind.
I would like my legacy to be on a personal level, that my daughter and my family, that they're very proud of me and what I've done.
I want to be remembered as somebody who's just known for showing love, known for looking out for people, somebody who evolved but never changed.
My legacy is just that I was a good breeze and I made an effort to so it was good. The simplicity of the existence like that, right?
So I would like my legacy to be something that connects to this wider legacy of what people are doing in this moment, what creatives are doing, what black people are doing in terms of making sure that the work they create, the words they use, the movements they make is not just for them. That is for this understanding of making the space we exist in better when we leave. So once we make our exit, we could pass this on to somebody in a better space than we got it. And I think at the very core of all these actions, that is the belief, that is the idea, that's the goal.
My heroes are all of the enslaved and free black people that were born in New Orleans, brought to New Orleans, forced to work in New Orleans, and made this place their own and contributed a lot of their cultures, their religions, their traditions that we are able to still hold on to and preserve today.
I don't know if it's a cheat to say my hero is this moment, is seeing all the way people are championing not being defined by the craziness of the world right now. You see all the memes, all the funny stuff about 2020 this and, and this epic movie that we're in. But I would think that the resilience of our creativity, the resilience of our spirit, the resilience of our imagination is my hero right now. The way we bounce back, you heard me? Like Juvenile said.